Hi doll fam, welcome back to my channel. Today I am starting a brand new series that is coming to y'all once a month for the whole entire year, and it's going to be a whole year of collabs. So every month I'm going to be collabing with a different YouTuber that I personally love, and I'm starting with one of my faves, and it is the Doll Daddy.
Hey dumpster divers. It's me, that trash panda that goes on the internet and complains about plastic.
A literal icon. And there's literally no one who doesn't like him, honestly. So today there's going to be two videos for y'all, one on my channel and one on his channel. And you'll have to check out his channel, link in the description. My video is going to be, we're going to rank all the Monster High characters, and there's 71 of them. So we should get into this. Yeah, on his channel we're going to be ranking just doll lines in general. So let's start with Abby. I want to hear what you think first, because then I'll say what I think.
Honestly, Abby, to me, are we going off like style, personality, like what?
Like to overall how we feel about them. Like how do their dolls make us feel and their character makes us feel about them.
Okay, because Abby to me is like S tier funny. But like other than her main basic fashion, I really can't think of anything else except for maybe like 13 Wishes Abby.
Oh, okay, now that's where I get my rebuttal. Abby's fashion is incredible, but I could be picky because I just love winter fashion, and any winter doll always will be above any other doll for me. And I Love Fashion Abby is a great example of the perfect Abby doll. All her looks in that are incredible.
And see, you have like the benefit of being a Monster High like fan during Monster High, right?
Yeah.
Because
So
I came in
history.
way after. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm really interested to hear where you would place them, because you're newer into the fandom and I'm more of like a veteran. Speaking about Abby, she was always saving all the ghouls in the movies and everything, so she deserves favorites. She deserves to be up top. Next up is Amanita Nightshade. Do you know who Amanita is?
I don't think so.
So Amanita is a corpse flower. She was in the Gloom and Bloom line. That was her debut. And there was webisodes where you learned that she's a bad character. And I think she's the reason Cleo was stuck in her sarcophagus for a very long time. And that's why, yeah, Cleo has a lot of like anger towards Amanita because of that.
So if she messed with my girl Cleo, then she's like bottom tier all the way.
Okay.
That's just me.
I agree, but I actually really like her dolls. She had two dolls, and I really like her fashion and style. But because of her character, it does like put her down lower. But I think she's kind of forgettable. Next is Ari Huntington. Do you know who Ari is?
Was she the one that they like went to the other school with all the chains?
No. So Ari is from the reboot, the first reboot that happened, and she was kind of the Spectre replacement, and she's kind of like a singer and a ghost, and she kind of had a human girl form in that movie.
Honestly, if it's like the Gen 2 reboot or whatever, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, then like garbage, trash.
Yeah.
They shouldn't even be on this list.
Yes, I would also put her and should have never existed. Next up, we have Astronova. Do you know who Astronova is?
Is she the one that was in the giant crystallized turd in the New York movie?
Yes, the New York.
Okay,
Yes.
then yeah, she had like the floaty like playset thing. I would put her in meh because like the playset's cool and everything, but other than that, I don't know anything about her.
I would personally put her in great, just because I think her playset is really cool, and I've never seen a floating doll before, and that's just crazy.
Yeah.
But also the fact that she has a connection to Ever After High, and she was going to be the bridge to both, besides Cupid, the bridge between Ever After High and Monster High in the end credit scene that happened in New York. That's why I would put her in great. I'm going to put her in meh because they didn't do anything else with her, and they kind of just skimmed over that. Next up, we have Avia Trotter. Do you know who Avia Trotter is?
I think she's one of the ones from when we meet the like unicorn zombie guy.
Yes, so she is from Freaky Fusion, and she's the hybrid of a harpy and a centaur.
I don't know anything about her. She doesn't super duper stick out to me, unlike the Ghost Mermaid or Nathan Rott, but that's just me.
I honestly agree. She's my least favorite from the four fusions. I still like her. She's a really cool doll, seeing like a half human monster. It's really cool, but she's kind of forgettable from the 4. Next up, we have Batsy Claro. Do you know who Batsy is? So Batsy only made a debut as a doll and into the webisodes. And she's from Costa Rica. She's kind of like Venus. She's like an environmentalist, and she loves feeling, you know, healing the world and everything like that. I would put her in great, but like on a low version of great, not like a really high.
Okay.
Next up, we have Bonita Femur, also from Freaky Fusion. Thoughts?
Love the name. Yeah, love the name. I don't know Bonita Femur off the top of my head. They're all really small on the screen that I'm looking at. So I can see like little thumbnails. Yeah, I've never even seen this doll actually. I think I may remember him from the movie. I mean, there's a lot going on with the doll. It's really pretty.
My thoughts, she's my favorite Freaky Fusion doll. I adore her so much. I actually like her more than Nathan, although I should like Nathan more because he has my name and he kind of has like a rainbow aesthetic. But something about Bonita and the wings that are huge. I've never seen that big of wings on a doll, and they work as a stand, which is cool. Okay, so next up we have,
yeah, for sure,
Cupid.
Cupid, the only thing I know about her is like there's some tie-in with Ever After High, and I never got into Ever After High. I have one Michelle doll and one Hunter Huntsman, and that's it. Oh, I was just saying, for like some of these more obscure, and that's going to be hard for like some Monster High people are going to be like, they're not obscure at all. They were in that one movie for 20 minutes, you know? But for me, like the more obscure characters, I'm probably not going to like super duper connect with or know that well. Or if they had like a one-off doll.
Yeah.
You have to have about like 5 dolls before I like remember you.
Yeah. Well, personally for Cupid, I like her, and I like that she was the bridge between both Monster High and Ever After High, but I just hate that she only had one doll in Monster High and then a lot of dolls for Ever After High. I would put her on a low tier of great.
Yeah, absolutely. And like the color scheme alone, I really like.
Oh yes, she was really cool. But next up, we have Pasta Fierce.
I've seen this person before. Look like just some witch to me, but they're like some pop star, right?
Yes. So
in the
she
universe
was the
or something.
Second,
I don't know.
The second pop star doll. Her name is a play on word on Sasha Fierce from Beyonce's like alter ego, and yeah, she had a music video. I actually really like the song, and yeah, that she only had that music video and the doll. I would put her at meh because they could have done a lot with her. Next up, we have Katrine Demieux. You know who Katrine is?
Yeah, that is another character I do not know.
Okay, so rundown on Katrine. She's in Scarus. Her dolls are really striking. Like, I genuinely, I think she's my favorite werecat. But,
okay.
That being said, I'm gonna put her at meh. Let me know if you agree with me, but it's just, I feel like it's a character that they could have done a lot more with her.
And she's probably somebody who's watching this like favorite.
Most likely. I think she's a really popular character. But I'm gonna put her at a higher meh because she did have iconic dolls. Next up, we have Caddy Noir. What are your thoughts on Caddy?
S tier. Definitely like I think it was maybe her first doll. I'm not 100% sure. It's the one where she's in the pink gown.
Oh my gosh, yes. The one that's kind of distressed and has all... Oh, that doll. And the boots. Oh.
So I was doing this thing where I was like watching all the movies and I was like asking people about her as like in the pink dress. And I was like, guys, what is the name of this amazing collector Caddy Noir doll that I can like buy? And people were like, bro, that's not a ever since then I was just like in love with like all the Caddy Noir dolls. Like they just really put everything into her.
I agree. I really honestly agree. And I would put her at favorites. I think she's a really cool doll. And speaking of, we have Claudine next.
So Claudine is definitely great for me, but not like S tier. I can't really think of like a Claudine doll that I have personally been obsessed with. but she always has good dolls, if that like makes sense. Plus she's the fashion one, she's sassy, like she's, I don't know, she has like a lot of personality that I like.
My rebuttal is I think definitely Claudine should be in the favorites because she's an icon. She is everything. G1 Claudine is the epitome of just that girl. I think her best dolls are this one right here that is shown with this picture. That is like one of my holy grail Claudine dolls. But you would put her at great on your ranking since we're kind of
but this is yours. Remember that.
No, we're kind of doing it together. So I'll put her at great, but like a high grade.
Okay. I'm just here for really uninformed opinions. You're like the Monster High person.
There are some characters that I will fight to be in like the top favorites. We haven't gone in there yet.
Oh yeah, because we all know who mine is.
I know who yours is, and I'm not going to disagree on that one. Next up, we have Claudia
we'll get there.
Wolf.
No.
Claudia is Claudine's older sister who lives in Londoom. She's in the Frights Camera action movie. Where would you put her?
She's gonna be an I don't know her.
I would personally, I would put her in great, but like a low grade. Because they could have, again, done more with her. And I feel like she would have had so many other dolls. But I do love her yellow hair. I find that so striking. And she was, I think, the first Monster High with a smiling, open, grin, teeth, mouth.
Oh.
So I really like that they did that with her. Going along with the family, we got Claude Wolf.
He's definitely one of the most handsome mansters. Like if he's 3D or if he's 2D, he usually looks pretty good. So I would definitely put him in like great. But I can't think of a single fashion doll besides the one in the picture right there of him, like off the top of my head.
Yeah. With his dolls, I'm pretty sure he wore shorts most of the time. And I hate that so much. Only two of his dolls had pants. He's in great too. Next up, we have Cleo.
So clearly Cleo, she like deserves like a ranking above favorite. She needs to be in like goddess tier. There are very few Cleo dolls that I find ugly. There are so many that I'm in love with. Her stank attitude, I love just everything about her. She's dating one of the cutest mansters in the whole school. Like stuff like that. Like everything about her, every rendition of her, even in that horrible G2 reboot, she was still one of the better looking ones. Like she just can really keep it going.
I agree with everything said there. And I didn't realize my love for Cleo until G3. Because with G3, I think she's honestly my favorite doll. And I keep buying more and more Cleos. And it's kind of getting overwhelming with how many Cleos I'm just purchasing now. And I just love her. And I think she's actually one of the dolls I had the most of. And right now I'm going to put her at number 1. Next up is a character I 100% know you don't know. It's Dana Treasure Jones. Like
the daughter of like Davy Jones or something.
You're actually right about that. So she is from Shriek Wrecked. Should have never existed, honestly. Okay. Next up, we have Deuce Gorgon.
Oh, favorites, for sure.
Definitely. I definitely think Deuce is the best manster. So I would put him up there. I would put him like maybe below Caddy.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Wisp.
Yeah, she's 13 Wishes meanie.
Where would you put Wisp?
Yeah. Definitely like great.
Next up is Mattel's baby, Draculaura. I want to know your thoughts on this because I have a lot of opinions on this.
I've made my thoughts of G1 Draculaura very clear. She is a whiny little turd. And her personality is like ear poison to me. And honestly, like she has some really good fashions, but I think they're very like mid. And it's a lot of like a Barbie silhouette, but it's on a Monster High doll. So people are like, oh my gosh, she ate. And I was like, guys, it's like literally a t-shirt dress with like some shape to it, you know? But her colors are like A+ in my book. I know she's like everybody's favorite and she's the baby, but she is so meh to me.
This whole segment is just going to be controversial because I completely agree with you. And I would put her really... Okay, if we're just speaking on G1, this is just on G1. I don't like G1 Draculaura. I never liked her. My sister collected her, so like I didn't have like an attachment to Draculaura. And rewatching it, she's so annoying. But if this were G3... Yeah, I do love G3 Draculaura. That made me do a complete change on her. And I love the witchy thing aspects of G3. But since this is G1, where would you put her?
Well, okay, if we're taking that into consideration, maybe she could be high meh. Yeah.
I agree. Next up, Elizabeth.
And they were calling her Elizabeth, and it was like that little Disney Junior Vampirina girl. I thought that's who Elizabeth was. So I was getting all my references mixed up, and so I thought that was just like basically a slur for Draculaura. And then I find out it's an actual character.
That being said, where would you rank her?
Okay, is she the one from the black and white movie?
Yes. So she's an actress.
Okay.
Hollywood actress. I like her more than Draculaura, personally.
Yeah, I wouldn't say she belongs in the great tier, but I wouldn't say she belongs in the meh tier either. Like, she's like, yeah, in purgatory.
I would say a low grade. Next up is LED. She's a robot. That being said, her doll that came in a 3-pack, I think has one of the coolest Monster High shoes I have ever seen.
I don't know her, which is crazy because I definitely remember watching Boo York and I can't even remember.
Maybe forgettable, honestly. Because after Boo York, they didn't use her anymore. Next up is Frankie Stein. You go first because I have a lot to say.
Yeah, if we were talking G3 Frankenstein, oh my goodness, every single doll is like an absolute slay. I cannot get over it. G1 Frankie, I don't know how this is going to sound, but she is very, very much that era. Her fashions are a little more dated, and G3 Frankie, they are like timeless almost, if that makes sense. So Frankie to me is definitely like a higher great tier next to Claudine.
So Frankie is my favorite Monster High character. So I think she is what Cleo is too, but like Cleo's also one of my favorites. So it's like, but I think Frankie is my baby. I love Frankie so much. I think all her dolls are absolutely iconic and everything. I don't think there was a single miss with G1 Frankie. I'm trying to think that I personally didn't click or connect with. And then their character, they were like a better Draculaura, and I just really loved her character. And I love that you kind of went through their eyes, how they went through school. But if we're including G3, my opinions still stay the same. I still love G3 Frankie and I'm obsessed with them. For me, I would put Frankie above Cleo.
No, and you should. Like, this is definitely like your thing. And like I said, if we were doing G3, they are like god tier level.
Yes.
I personally love every single Frankie doll that's come out, but I'm not into every single Cleo doll, and that says something.
So I will put Frankie under Cleo because we both agree that we just really love Cleo. And I feel like that's just very mutual. Next up is Ghoulia.
Ghoulia is absolutely fantastic. So funny. Like the way they use her and her like verbal abilities and everything. It is just... I don't know, like the way and she's so smart. She like helped Abby save the world or whatever. I think in one of the movies, right? Like they like saved something from, I don't know. Absolutely great. The dolls themselves, I know of this one, and then there's like one with like Cleo in like a like tomb.
Okay.
And then that's it. And Ghoulia's outfit to me is very Hot Topic employee.
Okay. Now my opinions on Ghoulia, I would put her, she was one of my main ones I did collect. I would put her like right under Frankie. Gulia's everything. Her character is just
Oh yeah.
iconic, and I love that she's like non-verbal, and I love how she was the unsung hero in every Monster High movie, always saving the ghouls with Abby, but it was mainly always Gulia who was always saving them from disaster or death even sometimes. And her dolls are pretty iconic. A lot of them had like gory stuff on them, like blood and like rib cages and bones and like dismembered body parts. And I just love, but they did it kind of playfully, and I love how edgy she was. Let me move her over here. So next up is Miss Gigi Grant.
I just remember them being so like, woe is me, like the other genie ladies like out and about, and like, I don't know, she just given me like the pity me vibes. And honestly, they don't super duper stick out to me. I think I just remember them having really weird fingers.
I think Gigi did have one of the longer Monster High fingers with like Jennifer. I love Gigi like a lot. I really do. And just looking at the characters here, I'm like, whoa, I actually really love Gigi. And she had some of the coolest dolls, like her new Scaremester doll. She had like she kind of had the Ariana Grande ponytail going on. And I just love that about her. Her Geek Shriek doll is one of my favorite Monster High dolls ever. Just, I don't know why her in glasses just clicks with me. And I do prefer her over her sister personally.
Meh, but that's just me.
I could do a low grade for her, but like above her sister. I'd do that. Next is Gilda Goldstag. Do you know who that is?
I have seen the doll because it came in with like a bunch of other dolls, right?
Yes, she was just a background character that was just walking by. I would put her at forgettable.
No, literally, like the most interesting thing about her is that she looks like one of the hormone monsters from Big Mouth on Netflix.
Wait,
that's it.
I need to see a custom of that. Y'all talented people out there, if y'all can make that, that would be everything. But I would put her at forgettable, but above the G2. Oh my gosh, wait. Well, I mean, wait. I know that I did that, but I put him here already. But I want to know what your thoughts are about Mr. Gil Gillington Weber.
Crash. Just a bad person, bad for Laguna. Just a little like, I don't know, just a word I'm not allowed to say.
I agree. That's why he's already just taken up that spot. Next up is Gulliaby.
Are they the giant Monster High doll that's always in thrift stores at the bottom shelf?
Oh my gosh.
Because they can't fit them anywhere else?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I know. I know they're from like the circus one, and I've seen the circus commercial for Monster High or whatever, right?
Yes.
The most annoying jingle they ever brought up.
Really? I haven't seen the commercial in a while.
Yeah. So in my head, it's bottom shelf thrift store annoying commercial. So I would just put them in, probably shouldn't have existed, but that's just me.
I love Gulliaby. I still remember the day that I got her. I was in Puerto Rico and I ordered her online through Toys R Us. And she arrived when I came home. She was already here and I was so happy to see her. I just think for the first 14-inch Monster High doll, that just blew my mind. I was like, whoa, I didn't know they could make Monster High dolls that big. And her clothing and everything is so cool. I love a good circus theme. I would put her above Dracula for sure. Next up, Headless Headmistress Bloodgood.
In the show, I don't remember like a ton of personality, but aesthetically, slay.
A doll you can pop her literal head off is the most iconic thing ever. And I just feel like a lot more could have been done with her. I would put her in a meh. Next up, Heath Burns.
I personally just love the Mansters. Like all around, I think they're good dolls. But is Heath the kind of like misogynistic-y one?
He's the annoying one that was always like dumb.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
He always did that really annoying, like, yeah, or whatever, like, sound.
Very much that.
Yeah. I would just put him, like, maybe, like, higher meh.
And I just love his relationship with Abby. I really do. I feel like Abby would really make him a better monster. I would put him at meh.
Perfect.
Yeah. Next up is Holt Hyde.
Love the aesthetics and everything. So I would probably put him as a higher meh. Because other than that doll right there, I can't remember any others, but
I would put him, yeah, I agree, on meh above Heath because I just think he's cooler, like the cooler fire monster. Next up is Honey Swamp.
aesthetically fantastic. And I remember her being a standout in the Frights camera action. Put her up in great above Cupid, but that's just me.
Honestly, same. I love Honey Swamp a lot. Next up, I have a lot of opinions, but I'll let you go first, is Howling Wolf.
She is such an annoying turd. I would like to put her in should have never existed. I know little sisters are supposed to be annoying, but oh my goodness, they took that concept and ran with it.
My thoughts on Howleen is Howleen and Frankie are my top 2 Monster High characters ever. Honestly, Howleen is my favorite Monster High character ever, period. Like, I just put her above everyone else. I adore her so much. I know she's like the annoying sibling, but I connected to that because I'm the annoying sibling between me and my sister. So I just connect with her in that aspect, and her trying to find her way under like her sister's shadow is kind of also relatable for a lot of people with siblings. And I just feel like I love her. Her fashion and everything, her fashion game was not good. I will admit that. Like, it's not really cute or anything, but I think it fits with her trying to fit the mold of trying to find out who she is. So I would personally put her below Frankie, but that's just me. I know this is one we completely do not agree on, but this is one that I will literally go to war for her because she's like my favorite.
I just feel so bad. I'm like sitting there talking so much crap, and you're like, oh, but she's one of my favorites. And I'm like, oh, okay, because to me, she's just like low budget neon Claudina.
I cannot. But, you know, that's what makes opinions great. Everyone has them. And next is Invisibility.
Am I allowed to say douche on your channel?
Sure.
He just gives me that. It's like very like hipstery and very much of the time. So I do feel like his looks like almost a little dated at this point.
I think he's my top 3 favorite Mansters out of all of them. I was obsessed with him. When I was younger, I think like I had the biggest crush on him. Like he was like my dream guy, besides another one that's coming up soon. I really love Invisibility so much. I would put him though at a great. Next up is Iris Klops.
I don't know a ton about Iris. I know that she came with one of the best Manster dolls ever, but I have nothing against or for her.
So I kind of feel the same way. I love her as a doll and everything. Definitely from that 2-pack, Manny was the cooler doll. And her character is kind of like a better version of Draculaura. I kind of feel meh about her, honestly.
Yeah.
Next up is Easy Dawn Dancer.
I found out this doll existed. Didn't even look at the eBay price. I looked for complete, and that was it. I bought her so fast. Aesthetically, she is gorgeous. I know literally nothing about her, but I had to get her.
I completely agree. Everything about her is just iconic.
Honestly, the fact that I physically have that doll, like you can see her like right in my whatever, she would be a favorite.
I would put her below Abby. Next up, we have Jackson Jekyll. I have a lot of thoughts, so you go first.
I don't know anything about his personality in the show and everything. I feel like he was a little like background character-y sometimes, but aesthetically, he's such a little cutie. And I always thought his dolls came out looking really good.
I love that you're saying all of this because he's going really up high. He is my favorite Manster from Monster High. I like him more than Holt. I kind of just wish, I like him more than Holt a lot.
Yeah.
And I love Jackson so much. And I ship him and Frankie to the moon and back. My first Instagram picture ever was one of Frankie and Jackson. Maybe I could do above Deuce, but below Caddy.
Yeah.
Next up is Jane Boolittle. You don't know her?
I think I know this one.
Okay, so I actually really like Jane. She was introduced as just and not a line, kind of as her own signature doll by herself. And her thing was she can speak to all the Monster High pets and she communicates with them. And we got like a whole little mini series within Monster High where it was just the Monster High pets talking and communicating. And her second doll, which is in the Gloom and Bloom collection, which is one of my favorite Monster High lines ever, her doll there is to die for.
Like aesthetically, like color scheme wise, very pretty, but yeah, I just don't know her.
Maybe above Cupid. Next up is Jennifer Long.
Play all day. Like one of the just most beautiful characters all around. And one of the characters I actually remember when I was introduced to them, what movie and stuff like that, because they're from Scaris, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like slay all day.
I agree. I really like her. She had quite a lot of dolls, but my favorite doll of hers is from the Gloom and Bloom collection. That doll is one of the most perfect dolls ever. Yeah, I would put her on grade 2, not above Claudine, because I do think Claudine is more iconic than her, but maybe above Batsy. Next up, we have Calamari.
I do, because I watched Great Scarier Reef trying to really force myself to get into it because it's mermaids.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is going to be like, when I was doing my like Monster High movie ranking, I was like, oh, this is going to be number 1. Absolutely. No, I'm pretty sure it was like the G2 movies, another movie, and then that one. Like, that's how low I ranked this movie. I have a doll of her because Adam from the doll list, one of my like doll besties, sent her to me. So she's really special to me in that way. But that movie's trash.
Really? I need to look up my Monster High ranking because I don't remember where I put Great Scary Reef. I know it's slower, but I really enjoy that movie. Something about how colorful and beautiful it is. Like, honestly, I could just shut my brain off and just watch it for the colors because it's so pretty. I don't know where would you put her? I'll go with where you think for her.
In meh.
Yes.
I feel like we should call out the hypocrisy here because she's literally a giant hunk of plastic that has like one cloth piece on her. And if Barbie were doing that, we would be dragging her for days. But Monster High, like, we're just gonna, like, she's literally like a 12-inch Happy Meal toy.
But next up we have Kiyomi Haunterly. So Kiyomi is in Haunted. She only had that one doll in that movie, and she was kind of like stalking Draculaura. And so the movie's called Haunted, and Draculaura is being haunted the whole entire movie, and it's by Kiyomi. And I think we can assume that Kiyomi had a crush on Draculaura.
That doll, gorgeous.
Oh yes, she's
but
Japanese.
Literally, yeah. But for me, it would literally have to be like, don't know her.
I would put her at great, but like a lower grade, just because she had that one-off moment. Next up is Kiertzy Trollson. Kiertzy was in the Brand Boost Students line, and I'm not sure what culture she was, so she was, I don't know, Norwegian? Norway? I think she was from Gorway, and she was a troll, so she was on the shorter, like Howleen and Twilight height. Her ears were humongous like a troll, but she was a gamer. And she had one episode with Ghoulia and they were gaming buddies. What are your thoughts?
She's a little cheese ball for me. And where I don't know who she is, I don't really have like that personal connection.
Yeah.
But she very much reminds me of when Mermaid High was a thing for 5 minutes and they had that gamer girl spring break doll.
I would put her at meh. Maybe below Costa. Next up, we have Laguna Blue.
Laguna is obviously one of the main girls. Aesthetically, I don't think she's always there. And personality-wise, I can't even tell you a single thing she's ever said.
I like her more than Draculaura. Like, I would put her above Draculaura for sure. I collected a lot of her. She was one of the main ones I did collect. I don't know. I also kind of feel the same way you do. Like, I don't know where to put her.
Yeah.
But I definitely above Draculaura. So I would put her above Draculaura just because Just Draculaura.
Yeah.
But I would put her on a low grade. Like, it, yeah. Next up is Lorna McNessie. So, I'll explain. So, Lorna is one of the Brand Boost students. She came out with Marisol Coxey, and she is a freshwater monster. She's the daughter of the Loch Ness Monster. Where would you put her? Now that you, like, saw her doll and...
Yeah, so literally do not know her. As far as, like, her doll goes, honestly, like, they're like, oh, she's Scottish, so she's a redhead. Here's some plaid. Like, it's so on the nose. And I don't know. I feel like for Loch Ness, they could have done, like, more.
I would put her in meh. Would
Yeah.
I would put her in meh, but, like, below Kürzi. I like Kürzi more than Lorna. But next up, we have Luna Matthews. So, Luna is from Boo York. Boo York, she was the Bloodway moth who wanted to be a star and make her debut on Bloodway.
So I think, like, just based off of aesthetics, she could go into, like, meh and finally knock down Draculaura a little bit.
Oh, I agree. But next up, we have Manny Tor.
Obviously he belongs in, like, favorites. I don't think there's a gay guy in the doll collecting sphere that doesn't have him or want him. Like, he's literally like a queer icon, which is so typical of the gays. Like, a blonde muscle boy, come on.
I don't think I would put him at a favorite because he was a bully. Aesthetically, one of the coolest male dolls. I love that they completely engineered, like, a whole new body for him and everything. But honestly, I think I prefer G3 Manny, and we've only seen him in one episode for maybe like 5 minutes. Yeah, he was a bully. He did a lot of mean things. He was always mean to Jackson. I'm putting him low. He's gonna be above... No, he's gonna be at the bottom of great. Just because he was a bully to Jackson, and just remember that, and that will not pass in this household. So next up, we have Marisol Coxey. So she was also from the Brand Boost Students line. She came out with Lorna. So Marisol Coxey is Abby's cousin, and she's the daughter of Bigfoot.
Looking at her, like, aesthetically, like, that's a tough one, because if you're gonna sit there and have this be like a family member of Abby Abominable, you needed to bring out everything to match. And to me, I'm just sitting here literally like, forgettable.
I completely disagree. Okay, so I actually really love Marisol, and I remember the time around when they came out, I was so excited for this doll to come out. Like, I was like dreaming of owning her, and to me, she lived up to the hype. I love her a lot, and she has ginormous feet that peek over the shoe that she's wearing, and I just love how cool that is. And I would put her not like in a favorite. She's not like up there. I would put her like maybe on a low grade above Manny. Next up is Monica Decay.
The G2 bad girl.
She's basically the Ghoulier replacement for G2.
Yeah, I don't care.
I think she should have
If
never
that
existed.
makes sense. Then we agree.
Next up, we have Nathan Rott. What are your thoughts on Nathan? Not me.
He is fantastic. I know he was in the Zombie Gaga music video. I know he was supposed to be gay, but Mattel always did what they had to do and just like back down because they're too afraid. I like, if we're going just off the doll, like, meh, you know. But like, there's so much significance to him and to Monster High fans who are gay. So that alone would have him be a favorite for me, and I have the doll.
I think I would put him in a high grade. Next up, we have Operetta.
Great, absolutely.
I really do like her.
I would put her in great.
Next, we have Perry and Pearl. They're from Great Scary Reef. There's the two-headed twin sisters from Great Scary Reef.
And I think I do remember the dolls being like super creepy, which is good because it's Monster High. Literally forgettable because I didn't remember them until you brought them up.
I would one up that and put them at meh, above Lorna.
Okay.
Next
Perfect.
up, we have Porter Geis.
Beautiful doll. I love his doll. I want it so bad. That's it. That's all I know about him.
I have a lot of thoughts on Porter. Speaking of his doll, I do like his doll, and Pink and Blue, that fantasy is like my favorite fantasy ever. And Haunted is actually probably one of my least favorite Monster High movies.
I would put him above Hyde.
Next up, we have Posea Reef.
I'm assuming that's another one of the mermaids.
Yes, so she was the daughter of Poseidon. She did this weird thing in the movie where she kind of talked like a goddess the whole time.
Fair.
She's kind of forgettable for me, honestly.
Yeah.
Next up is Malady and Persephone.
I think they're mean girls in the show.
So I love the twins. I'm a sucker for twin dolls. I love twins so much. That's why I'm obsessed with like this Drag Race season that there's twins. I love twins. And like I hope that in my future I have twins. Like as kids that would be everything. I would go crazy. But I really love that they're cat twins and they were always with Toralei. And I just love that they were the baddies giving us mean girl vibes. They didn't talk at all. The only time they ever talked was in Great Scary Reef, and everyone was freaking out because we're like, oh my gosh, they talked for once. I would put them at a low grade. Next up, we have River Styx.
And to me, she's very safe.
River is actually my favorite Haunted doll. I adore her, everything about her. I love her. And she's kind of she is the inspiration for my Monster High version of me. So I kind of played off of her. And I love the pastels on her. They are so stinking cute. Maybe in meh, but like above Dracula. Next up, Rebecca Steam.
Aesthetically, I think she's very cool. And I like her like father or whatever.
I think we all like her father.
So like just like aesthetically, yeah, I don't remember a single thing about her personality except she was in like one of like the time travel movies.
Her doll, I'm obsessed with her doll.
If we're going off aesthetics alone, she belongs in like Great.
I agree, but I don't think she's as good as Claudine. Next up is Rochelle Goyle.
It's the one with like wings, right? And
she's
had that boyfriend in France.
Yes, so she's from Scaris. She's a gargoyle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just remember her like aesthetically being very pleasing and everything, so.
Yeah, I love her colors, and she had a lot of really cool dolls.
I mean, if you think she's like right next to Rebecca, maybe there.
Yeah, I do think she's
But,
right
like
next to
above Operetta still.
Next up is Scara Screams.
That whole 60s vibe is so slay. Super cute. Other than that, I don't know a thing about her.
I love Scara a lot. I think she was one of my favorite characters, I think. And her and Invisibility's relationship is one of my favorite Monster High couples. We should put her next to Billy. Next up is Sylvie Timberwolf. So Sylvie Timberwolf is a G2 character. I would argue the best G2 character. She was just really cute and everything. I feel like her doll, she did have like polypropylene hair, but I feel like if she were a G1 character, she would be really cool. I don't want to put her in Should Have Never Existed because I feel like she should have, just not a G2. Like a low meh. Next up, we have Cyrena Von Boo.
She's the mermaid ghost. I like her.
I adore her. She's the one who like showed signs of having ADHD and was always distracted by different things and was kind of like the airhead, and I just love that about her. And she was half ghost, half mermaid, and I think that's a really cool combo.
I would put her like above Cupid.
You know what? Let's go for it. Next up, Skelita Calaveras.
S tier. I think she is just so slay.
I completely 100% agree with this. Where would you put her up there?
Easy. Yeah. I would put her up there. I know, like, honestly, we probably shouldn't have put Claudine in Great. She probably should have made it to favorites. Because there's been so many times where we're like, well, we can't put her above Claudine. But I'm like, yeah, we can.
Next up is a character I don't know the name of, actually. There was these pony Monster High characters that existed called the Frightmares. I never got them. I didn't care for them.
Or we don't know her.
We don't know her. We don't know her. Next is Slow Mo.
Like mid-meh for me. Because I know who they are and I like the way the doll looks and everything, so.
I do love Slow-Mo. He's just too cute of a character. And he was also like Gulia in Audible. I would put him above Manny.
Yeah.
Next up is Spectra Vonner, guys. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on Spectra.
I don't super duper know a lot about Spectra, but I know that her doll is like so slay. With like, because it's one of those like translucent ombre ones, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So like aesthetically gorgeous. I know she's like a huge fan favorite and everything. I personally don't have much of a connection with her, but like I get it.
So I feel like growing up, everyone was either an Abby person or a Spectra person. I was personally an Abby person, so I didn't collect Spectra. My sister collected her. I think she's cool. She has my least favorite Monster High movie from the G1 ones. I think she's better than Draculara.
Well, there you go then.
Next we have Toralei Stripe.
Mean Girls, love them. Toralei also had probably one of the best mermaid dolls.
Oh.
So I like her. I like her short hair. I like the choppiness of it in the dolls and everything.
I would put her right below Claudine, honestly. I love Toralei. She was one I heavily collected. I was always obsessed with her. Her signature doll is one of my holy grail dolls. Next up is,
Aww.
I think her name is Teresa Thornwillow. Teresa is a G2 character from the Garden Ghouls collection. She was also 14 inches like Guliope, but you twisted her peg on the back and she got taller. I'd put her in the lowest forgettable. Next up we have Twyla Boogeyman.
I don't know anything about original Twyla, and people won't shut up about G3 Twyla. And I'm the worst because I thought her stop motion music video was so just mid.
Okay, so I do have a lot of thoughts about Twyla. She is also one of my favorite Monster High characters. Basically anyone who Howleen was friends with, like automatically a favorite. I just love her aesthetic. And I love that she was always shy because I'm shy. And she was an introvert and she would hide in the shadows and creep around. I do think Twyla has a lot better fashion than Howleen, for sure. I would put her in favorites. I really would. Next up is Vandala Doubloons.
Yeah, no idea.
She's also from Haunted. She is the ghost pirate, and she had a really cool pirate hat. Maybe.
Well, I mean, you used the word forgettable.
I mean, she could be the highest forgettable. Next up is Venus McFlytrap. What are your thoughts on
I mean,
Venus?
she has to be in favorites, right?
I 100% agree, because if you weren't going to say that, I was going to be like, yeah, she's going in favorites. She's my favorite from the trio of Rochelle, Rebecca, and Venus. When she came out, I was like flipping out. The shaved side of her head is so cool. And I love that she's edgy and everything, but she's like an environmentalist and loves the planet, and it's all about recycling and everything.
I was a huge Poison Ivy girl growing up, and so, yeah.
100% agree. She definitely gives off that vibe.
Say she would be above Skeleta just like aesthetically, but that's so hard because they're both just so
like they deserve to be on the same pedestal. I love Venus,
but like they share an honorary same spot.
Next up is Viperine Gorgon.
I think I remember like aesthetically being into her, but that's about it.
There was 4 Frights Camera Action characters. I like her more than Honey personally. But again, she's Hispanic. She's Deuce's cousin. So all of those factors and the fact that she is pink and blue aesthetic, that just made me love her. I think I would put her next to Elizabeth. Next up is Widona Spider.
So pretty. Anytime they've ever done like a black doll, like where they're like a solid black base, like Caddy or the spider one, it just always comes out looking so good.
I think she's incredible. She is everything. I wouldn't say she's like my favorite doll ever, but she's like one of the coolest dolls to ever be made in history. She has 6 limbs. It's just arms, and then the 2 legs, which make 8. She is so cool. I wouldn't say she's better than Claudine, but I would put her up there. I really would.
Yeah, like that's a hard one. Maybe in between Jennifer and Nathan.
That's a perfect placement. Next, we have Mother Monster, Zombie Gaga.
I mean, she's literally the Grail doll in Monster High lore and everything. And regardless of like the core girls or anything, she's probably like, this is just off my knowledge. There could be like other dolls that are worth more than her, but she's like really high up there. And the fact that like somebody literally just sent me one because they were like, "Oh, I just have one. Do you want her?" And I was like, "Are you kidding me? Yeah, I'll take her." Like that's insane to me.
It was G2.
I mean,
but it was so good. It was like one of the better
Yeah.
things to come out of G2.
yeah, she has to be up in favorites for
I
sure.
agree.
I would put her either like right behind Abby, even though she's like a one-off. Like, I don't know, because I know like a lot of the dolls have multiples, but like the fact that Zombie Gaga could just be Zombie Gaga and be that iconic with one singular doll, that's, yeah.
It's Gaga for crying out loud. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So we finished the list. Y'all, this is iconic. Y'all take your screenshots so you can see where this is. I'll put a link of this in the description and y'all can send me a screenshot of where you would put your Monster High rankings. And yeah. And I want to say thank you so much, Jeffrey, for joining me. This was so much fun. And I hope my whole series of these collabs is a resurgence for more YouTubers to do more collabs, because that was my favorite era of YouTube. So that's why I wanted to do this, to bring this up. And you being here is iconic. You're one of my favorite channels and I'm always watching your content. Thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. I haven't done a collaboration for a hot minute.
Let us know where we can follow you.
So basically, there's this alley behind my apartment. I'm just the doll daddy on everything. I kept it really simple, really easy. Still, I do like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube basically. I don't do Twitter, and if I did Twitter, you couldn't show your mom, so.
Yeah, so y'all make sure to follow him on all those places. He makes a lot of great content, and make sure to go to his channel because there's more content with us on there, and we will be having a video there too, so y'all go check that out. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you're notified of my next video. And I'll see y'all later. Bye.